What's going on in this video? I'm going to show you how we took one single product that's an everyday item and made over $200,000 in less than 20 days. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to walk you through the ads and everything, and stay tuned till the end. Got something really special that you're going to want to see. All right, guys, so in this video, we're going to show you how we scaled one single everyday product, not Corona related, to over $200,000 in less than 3 weeks. So let's go ahead and get started. And you can see here, these are actually real numbers. I'm obviously not going to show you the store or product that we're selling because we're still selling it right now, but I'm going to show you everything we did leading up to this, okay? And the cool thing is that we actually found it on this little site called AliExpress. Now, if you want to see how to find winning products with AliExpress, I've actually done a video on this already. You can see that link in the description on my product research method. Just as a reminder, this is an everyday product. It's not something that's selling like masks just because there's a pandemic going on. I'm actually quite surprised at how well this is done considering there is a pandemic, but that's just how it goes sometimes with Shopify, right? So when we go back to the store, you're going to see that we actually launched this on April 16th. We started seeing sales coming in right away. So if we go back in the ads manager to April 16th, you're gonna see exactly what we did, okay? Now, something I also wanna point out too, Facebook is underreporting our sales by about 30%. So the cool thing with that is we are actually doing 30% more. So if I showed you the April 16th through today, May 6th, 2020, you're gonna see we clocked in at about 150K, but in all reality, April 6th, in all reality, we're at about $211,000 in sales, right? So let's just backtrack to see what we did, how we created this amazing results. Because if you do the math on that, that's over a 3 ROAS. So every dollar that we spend on ads, we're getting over $3 back, which is phenomenal, especially for an everyday product that you don't need to be dependent on something seasonal or trending. Let's look at what we did to start, okay? So on the 16th, we were doing our testing, and our testing was with our interests. So we already had identified the best creatives prior, right? So days leading up to this, we ran what we call a creative test. Okay, the creative test shows us, not necessarily, we're not looking for sales here, right? We're looking for the best metrics on performance. Performance at this point for your creatives is going to be what's giving you the lowest cost traffic and the highest click-through rate with that. So if you look at the metrics here with this, and obviously we're blurring out the product over here because we're still selling it and I don't want to sell out on this product. What we're looking for here, this is our first 3 days that we ran the creative test before we move into interests. And the way we set this up is we do one interest, and all that's different is going to be the copy, the image, the video, all the different pieces of a creative. A creative is going to be your headline, your image, your video, plus a thumbnail, your set of images if you're doing a carousel, right? So basically the combination that you use to create the ad itself. Everything else is equal on the ad set level, on the campaign level. And all that's different with this is going to be what we put together here with the images, the videos, the copy. So what I'm looking for here is if you look at the first 3 days we were in the creative test, we're gonna sort by the amount spent. And we're seeing that we're getting, pay attention to this column right here, our cost per click, right? So like this ad is spent $8 and we've only had 4 clicks. That's costing us of about $2.04 per click. Whereas this one has spent less money and it's had 3 times the amount of clicks. So if this remains true and consistent, this is going to get us 3 times the amount of traffic as this did for the same dollar spent, or 3.5, something like that. I'm not perfect at math, but you get the idea. This is for every dollar we spend, we're going to get more clicks to the page, right? And some people argue that it doesn't matter, but in my opinion, it does. I'd rather spend less to get the same amount of people to the store, assuming that the same percentage of people are going to actually purchase the thing. Now, what we do is we've let this run for a couple days. It's time to move into interest, right? And how do we know? Well, once it's spent at least $2, but really somewhere between $4 and $6 is where we find that the numbers are going to level out. The data is not going to shift too much. It's not going to suddenly go from 50-cent clicks to $2 click, because that will make a difference. And if you're in this business, you're probably trying to do it to make money, not just to get traffic to your store for as much as possible, right? As far as your cost, okay? So now if we look at it, or we did actually, is we moved the best creatives into an interest test. And what we do for that is we're going to open up a new post ID. So that one's really good. This one's really good. The CPMs are really low. The cost per click's really low, and the click-through rate is pretty high. So now I'm gonna go ahead and preview this one. Same deal. And let's go find number 3. Let's say it might have been, this one's pretty good too. This one has a stronger click-through rate. It's about the same. We'll go with this one. So what you want to do is you want to grab those post IDs for each one of these, right? Okay, so I would grab that. And then when I go to launch my interest test, I actually want to use those same post IDs. The post ID is going to carry over all the likes, comments, and shares. Like, we're going to blur out a lot of this here in the middle, but all the engagement in the bottom of the ad that you see, like you see in really popular posts that are in your newsfeed, that's what we want to carry forward. All right. And more importantly, we know that the way we set up that ad, it's working really well with the target audience. So that's the one that we want to use. So we maintain this really inexpensive traffic. Right? These numbers are really good for Facebook. And the way we set up this initial creative test, if I go back down, the way we set up this creative test is very simple. We did 3 ads per ad set. We did 19 ads or ad sets, right? So one campaign, ideally 20 ad sets. Doesn't need to be exactly, but as close to 20 ad sets as possible. And you want 3 ads for every ad set. If you look at the ad set level, it's nothing crazy. You're gonna see that the targeting is $3 a day for every single one of these ad sets, 1 interest, and no expansion, and everything else is just open. We just leave everything automatic, nothing complicated. Isn't it great when it's not complicated? I prefer that. Facebook used to have to be more strategic in a way, right? So you'd have to have all these, specific targeting interests and age ranges and stuff like that. And just as time went on, it actually became less effective to do that stuff, to do more detailed segmented targeting. Actually leaving things more open with Facebook makes our lives easier, and actually, I believe it from what I see, it actually works better. Now, what we did is we jumped into our interests, right? And let's just take a look at how the interests perform. So this is just in this first couple days. So if we just go like a week with the interests, you're gonna see why this showed so much promise. Okay, so here we are, April 12th through the 18th. If we go back to our store, pretty good sales. We only spent $600 and the store made $1,500. So pretty consistent, about 3 times our ad spend, right? If we go into our interests, let's look at our numbers again. This is how you know it's a winning product, guys. So our break even on this product, I believe, is 1.5 ROAS. And this is also underreporting like we talked about, more so as we scale. But even still, you can see there's a $300 difference here, okay? What I'm looking for here is just any interest in multiple sales. And I mean, come on, $5.87 purchases on a item that we're selling for $35 and then $5 shipping on top. Like, it's freaking phenomenal. These numbers are amazing. This is one of the best products we've ever run. What I also want to point out here is that when you're getting cheap purchases and a high average order value, it just gives you more room to win with a product like this. So this is a clear winner. So what we did, we took our top 4 and we just duplicated these into a new campaign. And for that, we set it as a CBO. So we go CBO. I'm actually not going to publish this. I don't want to break anything that's already running on this ad account. But I just want to show you guys like how this works, what a winning product looks like. Because a lot of people show revenue, but they don't actually show how much they spend. Something really important for yourself is that you have to realize a lot of these YouTube experts, a lot of these gurus, I'm not gonna call out specific names of people, but in this, it's a pretty small industry, right? So like everyone kind of knows everyone that's doing anything significant. And you know of some guys just putting up big ass numbers like 100K in a day, but secretly either they're not sending out the product or they're spending 70K to make that 100K, so they actually don't make any money. They're just making revenue and sales. Super typical, super unethical. Don't do that shit. Now, what we did here is we got our new CBO with our best 4 interests. Remember, these interests have those 3 post IDs that we made. So we first did creative testing. We found our best 3 ads, and then we moved those into our interest test. We did the same thing, 20 ad sets with a single interest in each. And then out of those, now we're pulling the best 4 and we're putting those into the CBO, which you see here, right? So now we have our best interests plus our best creatives all in a campaign itself. I'm gonna go to campaign budget optimization. I'm gonna go $100. You could do as low as 50. But this is a good product. It's not going to matter what you started at. You just want to get this thing spending, and then I would publish that, right? So let's just do a quick recap, okay? So first, step one, we obviously set up the product. We found the product in AliExpress, mostly image ads. We did our creative test. We did 19 in this one, but we did 20 ad sets typically. Each ad set has 3 ads per, so you see 3 there. Once we have at least 3 to 5 days of data, anywhere from $2 minimum, but ideally $4 to $6 to find where the data is going to be stable, where the click-through rate, cost per click, all those important things that most people don't talk about. That's where they're going to be stable, and then we move those into our interests. For our interests, we're going to do, once again, 20 ad seed, 20 ad sets here, each its own targeting, its own unique interest. If I go down, $3 a day, same deal, and then a single interest per ad set, right? Here's another ad set. That's the setup. You let that run again for 4 to 7 days. And then once you have your best performers, you grab the 4, like I showed you a second ago, and you put those into a CBO. CBO can start as low as $50, but as much as $100, okay? So if I open up this CBO, so we actually ended up with 4 CBOs because this product was such a hot winner. Let's see, we launched those probably right around here. We'll just go a week's worth and look at these CBOs, right? So if you just focus on these 4 campaigns here, 4 ROAS. And that's underreporting about 30%, okay? So yes, hot winner, crazy winner. Cost per purchase goes up, right? So that's something you have to keep in mind too. It's gonna cost you more to make a sale as you scale up. Okay, so completely normal. Don't like freak out at someone like panic one time because their cost per purchase went up like $1. But don't stress out about those things. It's normal. It's part of the game, guys. Here we are. About every dollar we put in, we're getting 4 back, right? Each one of these CBOs has 4 ad sets, 4 different interests, but you're seeing how it works. And the numbers are pretty stable. So we're getting, CPMs are a little bit high. Right, we like to see those 5 to 10, but it just really depends on the product as you scale and the interests. But here's a cool thing: we're only paying 50 cents a click, and we're getting a pretty good conversion. Probably about 5% of the page is converting, more or less, because this is under-reporting sales. Okay, so what we did now is we moved this into a scaling phase. Right, we'll just pull those numbers up for you. 24 through the 26. So we did 26K. This is the first big weekend with this product. And that mostly came from these 2 campaigns, plus our retargeting. And we also launched lookalikes. Lookalikes are going to be when you create a similar audience to anyone that has achieved a certain event, such as the event could be viewing the content of the page, adding the product to the cart, starting the checkout, or even purchasing the thing. So we had a ton of content views, like you could see even here, just in this date range. We've had 13,000 people click on the ad and over 12,600 people actually view the page itself. So what we did here, we moved into our scaling. Scaling we do in 2 different ways. First we do with CBO. CBO setup is super simple. We just do 10 ad sets. We do open targeting. So at this point, Facebook has enough data. They can figure out who the buyer is. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So we do 10 ad sets. We put some rules on it. So the rules are pretty simple. For example, first rule we do is we turn on at 6 a.m. We turn off at midnight. Why? You could leave it running overnight. I've had success both ways. I just like to know when my money's being spent when I'm scaling like this. So what we do, we turn off at midnight and we turn back on automatically at 6 a.m. The second rule is that we want these ad sets in the CBO to run until $15, $20, $25 with no spend before we kill it. And we can let the system do this automatically. Why? Because we want the CBO to, within all the ad sets within the CBO, we want to kill off the ones that don't do well today and leave the last 2, 3, 4, 5 ad sets to carry most of the budget. So usually how this kind of CBO works is that we'll run negative or like a break even until 10, 11, or 12, noon in Eastern time. And then suddenly everything dumps the budget on the ones that are still left with low cost per purchase, with good conversions, the ones that optimize of these ad sets. And then they'll carry the other $700 and $1,000 budget, for example, right? So if I set this CBO campaign at budget optimization, where we optimize at the campaign level, we put the budget at the campaign level. That's how we set it up, right? So we set this one for like $1,000. So first $200, $300, Facebook's kind of finding the buyers. They're killing off the bad ad sets for us with the rules. And then the last $700 of the budget gets dumped onto whatever actually did well and should just continue to carry purchases. So it's a very simple way of scaling. It's a very clean way of scaling. With this, we also do big budgets. And once again, we just do open targeting. You could start those at 500, 1,000, 2,000. It's really whatever you want to do. Like this one, we did $500 each and they got pretty similar results. Actually, they underperformed compared to the CBO a little bit, but either way, I mean, this made us, over $10,000 at maybe $15,000, right? And because it's underreporting too. So after product cost, so we're talking like net profit here. So pretty freaking awesome, great weekend. I don't know where else you could do that from the comfort of your laptop in your home. And then what we did, we just basically replicated it from here. We also launched the view content lookalikes, which I talked about too, and that did really well. We didn't scale those. We just kind of left it to run. Why do we do that? Simple reason. I find that if you keep feeding Facebook, it's very cyclical. So if you feed it more data with targeted traffic, like your lookalikes, your interests, your open stuff works. And then it just kind of, it's very cyclical at that point. A couple other things we could do here, right? Because you could see that we just kept cranking on this and we still are. Like if we just look at the last week, where did we go? Monday through Sunday, 117K, and we only spent 34.5. So, and one of the other ad accounts, we launched like $1,000 a day. So there's a little bit more ad spend, but look at this gap. So 87K, it's like a $20,000 gap in sales. Pretty crazy. By the way, you actually see that the sales are going up today live, which is pretty cool. It's only 10:26 a.m. here. Now, what you want to think about here too is, so you can see that we scaled up pretty aggressively here. And what we're just doing is we're just repeating the process with just bigger budgets. Like here we are with our 1K or 2K CBOs. ROAS is dropping a little bit. It's underreporting, so you can't base all your judgments based off of this. ROAS obviously being return on ad spend. So this is going down, but as you scale up, it's normal for your profit margin to shrink. But if you're making the pie bigger, we all like pie, don't we? If you're making the pie bigger and you're getting a smaller percentage of that pie, the pie is still so big that you're making more money than if you didn't make the pie bigger. If you get the pie small, maybe you'll get 20%, 30%, versus a big ass pie that you get 10% or 15%, but you just got to decide what you want to do, okay? I like the biggest pie possible, because also what can happen at any time, even when you have a product that's crushing like this, there's always a chance that some guy or gal or whatever comes in, scoops the product, grabs your ads. It's going to happen, right? Unless you have your own branded product. And what's going to happen is either it's not going to work for them, or they're going to have similar results and then they're going to eat up the market. And then someone else is going to see that you're scaling and they're going to eat up the market. And if you go into Spy Tools, like I was doing product research yesterday, I saw this exact product that we're running on 2 Spy Tools. So a lot of other people are seeing the trend and the data of it just going like this. So guess what they're going to do? The advantage with this is that we've done a really good job with designing the store and giving it a branded, unique feel. And the customer service is phenomenal with this product. So in the store. So that is a big difference maker, but nonetheless, more competition comes in running the same ads. It's going to take away some of your pie, right? So when you find a product that's hot, this is a great example. This is more of a unicorn. This is not a typical product. Most products don't work this well with everything you throw it at. When you do, and it works, this is a sure winner. Okay, but it just goes to show you what you can do with Shopify dropshipping. And if you want to see how to do this for yourself, we got a really awesome Facebook group that I want to invite you to join. But more importantly, if you're just getting into dropshipping, go ahead and watch our next video, which is going to be our walkthrough in how to set up a store. If you already have a store, we actually have a mini series that's going to show you dropshipping in 2020 from A to Z. Go ahead and check that out. You'll see the link to that in the description with this video. But I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some ideas of how you could scale your products once you find something that is actually converting. All right.